Judo teaches that with one perfect throw, a larger opponent can be defeated using strength and grace. And while historically it was men who trained and competed in this sport, we find that it suits us even better.
Welcome back. Case of Sunrise time is 6:11, and all week long we're checking out fun ways to get back into shape. Did you see the way she threw that guy?
I know, and the guy was about
hour?
3 times bigger than
Yeah,
she was.
that would look pretty impressive.
Judo. Some of the basic tenets include strength, endurance, and emotional well-being. Right now you can see that they're working on the strength and endurance part.
One motto of Judo is maximum efficiency, minimum effort. So we always talk about how small people can throw big people, can use the big person's body weight and their momentum.
Literal translation of Judo means the gentle way, but Judo is not gentle. It means more like flexible, pliable.
The Fresno Judo Club is known for doing tons of uchikomi, which is when we go in and out for a throw without actually throwing our opponent. When you're in a match, you don't want to think about each throw, your body just has to do it right away. Uchikomi every single practice, hundreds of them, and we get that from Sensei Imamura.
Did I say that right? Haruo?
Yes.
Imamura.
Imamura, yes.
Two-time U.S. national judo champion.
Yes, 1960 and 62.
My grandpa was hard and strict and strong.
People would come to Fresno because of him.
Judo is a sport that was originated in Japan, and that was where my father was from.
The Imamura family and the Satsui family, our family, has been deeply involved in the Fresno Judo Club for over 40 years.
Mr. Imamura wanted my father to bring me to Fresno Judo.
And then my dad kind of became like the 5th adopted son.
I would see him all the time. At that point, it developed this bond that hasn't gone away.
And so that led to our generation at the Fresno Judo Club today.
Fresno Judo is different in that we have a large population of women on the mat, much more than any other judo club I've ever visited.
My dad had mostly girls, 7 girls and 1 boy.
And I'm the only grandchild that stuck with judo. Women weren't even allowed to compete until the 1980s.
There was a white stripe on the belt, and that was supposed to represent purity.
Tradition is so important. And traditionally, judo is for men, but that's changing.
The reason why I didn't see myself as a girl in judo is because my grandpa, he didn't treat me as a girl in judo. He treated me like an athlete.
Sensei Imamura was firm and stoic, but Mrs. Imamura had a softer strength.
My mother was very nurturing toward my nieces.
They would sit in these 2 chairs. My grandpa would coach. I think my grandma would just watch.
I think she influenced my daughters just from her presence and her actions, the way she was.
One of the most life-changing events occurred for my father was when my mother passed away.
She passed away on the way home from a judo tournament. For some reason, Sensei couldn't go, and she went instead. And I think that speaks a lot to her and her dedication to this sport that wasn't even hers.
People talk about my grandpa a lot, but I think she did just as much. We keep saying she wasn't on the mat, but it was almost like she was. She was sitting right there, right next to everyone. So I think now that we're black belts and we're senseis, we just want to give that support back to our little ones, just like she gave that to us.
We had both the sternness on the mat and the love off of the mat, and we realized that there has to be both. Even though she didn't do judo, she will always be such a big part of it.
Those things that we do on the mat should also be off the mat. Good etiquette, good manners, good sportsmanship, good character. That's what judo is about.
There's a shift between us learning from our dads to us trying to teach what they have taught us. But I think we're still learning ourselves.
We always say each uchikomi should be better than the last one.
And I think that lesson is really important in your everyday life as well.
Mrs. Imamura represented that judo can exist outside judo. It's not just throwing people on the mat every day. It's living this lifestyle and being part of this community.